Hi, this is Jennifer. I want to talk today about something that gets overlooked far too often. I often talk about Christian things, Christian themes, and Christian teachings, and this is no different, but you don't have to be a Christian to benefit from this video. So, what I'm going to talk about today is self-love. We are commanded to love others as we love ourselves. And for a lot of us, we are able to love others pretty well, but we're not so good at loving ourselves. And it's not obvious in a lot of cases, unless you're just totally neglecting yourself. But there is something in there where you're just not giving your best to yourself. And this isn't prideful, this is respect. God made each one of us, and each one of us are valuable, and Jesus died for every one of us. So the importance is there that we don't neglect ourselves and love everyone else. We're to love ourselves too. So this is an area that I've struggled with my entire life, though probably most people did not know that because I don't tell people that, and I certainly don't show people that, but I'm just being transparent and honest. And so I have spent time in prayer with God about this topic, asking Him, how exactly do I not love myself, and a practical plan of changing that. I need steps. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need actual application steps, not a concept only, just saying love yourself. I mean, so what do? I need a do there. So if you're like me and you need practical steps, keep watching this video because I'm going to give them to you. So the first steps in this self-love process, which you're totally going to benefit from, because when you love yourself, you attract people that will love you also. They're attracted by that when you don't love yourself, you're attracting people who won't love you either. It's just the way it works. I don't know why it works this way, but you actually teach people how to treat you by how you're treating yourself. So the step that I'm giving you is number 1. There are things that we know as the 5 love languages, and that was a book that was written, I think it was Dr. Chapman, and it's a fantastic book, but sort of following along the same concepts. We can love ourselves, but in all 5 love languages. So quality time would be my primary love language, as it is for a lot of women. So a practical way for me each week to love myself is to go on a date with myself, spend quality time with myself. In some aspect and way, I need to put it on a calendar, just like I would any important date. If I was going and having lunch with a friend, I would put it on the calendar, and I would do no different with a date with myself. That doesn't mean I have to go do something weird like sit in a restaurant alone, which would make me personally uncomfortable, but I mean, not everybody is uncomfortable with that. But just simple things like go watch the sunset at the beach. You know, it doesn't take that long, and that's something I could easily do as a date with myself, or to go walk around a lake, or go to the bookstore by myself and just sit down and read. I'll tell you what it does not include. It does not include sleeping. That's not a date. And it doesn't include chore running, because again, that's not a date. It's got to be special, you know, like actually put nice clothes on and look your best and have it all planned out what your date with yourself is going to be. Now, you'd be surprised how good you're going to feel when you start doing this. The second one is gifts. So that's also another one that I like. And it's important that you buy yourself gifts. Now, some people have no problem doing this, and then there are others who do struggle with this because they would rather buy gifts for their children or their spouse or a friend than they would themselves. So, regardless of what you were doing before, I want you to start doing that. I want you to start buying yourself gifts. The first gift you could give yourself could possibly be, if you're female, a bouquet of flowers. How special is that? I know personally, I saw a piece of jewelry that I just fell in love with, and that was a gift that I had bought for myself, and I just glow every time I wear this because not only is the jewelry itself beautiful, but I did it intentionally to show myself love. So don't get carried away. We're not trying to soothe ourselves by just shopping. This is just going along with a weekly, intentional, step-by-step way of showing ourselves love. So the third one would be words of affirmation. You would not believe how much bombardment we're getting every single day, everywhere we go. Even when you're by yourself, that echoing voice in your head is saying things like you're not enough, or you're too much, or you didn't do this right, or people don't like you. I mean, you're hearing all this negativity, and you've got to negate that. So you need to speak out words of positive about yourself. And at first it might be really tough to do that. You think it's not going to until you get a notebook out and you put your pen down and you're like, okay, so what's something positive? Okay, and then when you keep doing this and you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, it does get a little hard. So praying and asking God to show you the positive about you would be very helpful. So I do that. And it's amazing because I start writing these positive aspects of myself down, and I realize I'm really hard on myself. I'm way harder on myself than I really need to be. I need to be kinder with my words toward myself because there's enough negativity in the world. I don't need to add to it. So what's important about these words is that you need to speak them out. And again, it needs to be intentional. And if this is an area that you need to do this more than once a week, then do it more than once a week. But everything I'm naming here, I'm just using a general guideline of once a week. And if you need to do more, you go ahead and do more. So be sure you do words of affirmation, positive traits about yourself. I am a good friend. I'm a good friend because I do this and this and that, and I'm a good parent, and even when I make mistakes, I still try to get up and do better, and just whatever it is that needs to counter the negative you're hearing, you need to be speaking it out. So I'm going to recommend that you write this stuff in a notebook. The reason why is there's something about writing it, handwriting, and I don't even mean putting it on a laptop. If you can actually get a physical book and write it down, the handwriting it down, I don't know, again, it has some sort of therapeutic effect, and I don't have the science behind why, but write down your words of affirmation. In fact, I journal how I did quality time. I journal what I bought myself. I'm journaling the words of affirmation I've spoken over myself. And this keeps me accountable so that I make sure I'm doing it every single week because I got dates and it's recorded. So the fourth thing is your physical touch. So I'm kind of going along with that. This is a loose category here, but things that you can do physically. one of the things I struggle with is going to bed on time. So that is something I made as a goal to show myself physical love, was to make sure I was going to bed by 9 o'clock every single night. Sometimes I forego doing things because I make myself the last priority. So self-care, physically self-care, make sure you're making your doctor's appointments, don't put them off. Making sure that you're taking your vitamins, stuff like this. Make your your weekly goals. So I made my goal bedtime first, and then another goal was to make sure that I was taking certain vitamins, because I can skip vitamins easily, but no, being very intentional about my vitamins, and then these things become habits, so I don't even have to think about the going to bed on time anymore. Now I'm just doing it, and I'm on to a new goal, and I'm continually adding every week something to benefit me. Now the cool thing is you can kind of mix these things up, and you can go and get a massage, which is pampering your body, but it's also your gift to yourself that week. See how it works? See, this is not real formal. Let's see. Acts of service. We show love towards other people by doing special things for them. It might be cooking this really fabulous meal that took a lot of time to prepare, and we made it just for them. But we won't cook that same meal if it's just for us. That's what I'm talking about. So that would be like, if that's you, and you would enjoy that gourmet meal, you would want someone to make that meal for you. You make it for you. Let that be your act of service for yourself for this week. Make sure you intentionally plan each week, this is how I'm going to serve myself. If it is doing a fancy meal or whatever, fixing something in your house you've been neglecting, but you would receive that if someone else did that for you. Do it. Go ahead and do those things. So this may not be a weak area for you, and that's fine. Then you still do it. But for some people, this can be a weak area where we just don't love ourselves with those acts of service for ourselves. So go ahead and make sure you plan it, execute it, and then record that you did that in your book. You're gonna like the progress you're making. So let's see. Did I name all 5? I believe I did. So anyway, that's your assignment if you wish to take this on. If you will start intentionally following these 5 guidelines, so speak positive words over yourself, do something positive physically for yourself, buy yourself a gift. Doesn't have to be expensive. It can be like a bouquet of flowers. Spend time with yourself. What was the other one? And acts of service. That's 5. That if you will go ahead and do that, you will start noticing that people will treat you differently, and you'll actually attract new people to you. It's an interesting dynamic. Just try it. And then put in the comments after you try it for a few weeks if you notice any kind of difference in how people are treating you and how you are treating you, which is really the most important thing. And that's all for this video, but I have more coming. And the reason why is because I too struggle with self-love. So I'm going to share everything that I'm discovering and doing and I've seen success in. And that's all for this one. You have a good one.